Hey homeschool friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to today's video where we talk about how our first week of homeschool went for the 2022-2023 school year. I feel like the first week for me is always like equal parts excitement and anxiety. I don't know if anybody else feels this way. I don't like being so out of routine. I don't like not having a routine. So we're not out of routine. There just isn't a solid routine yet. So enough about that. Let me just jump into some specifics about how our week went. So hi, my name is Angie. Welcome to the channel if you're new here, or welcome back if you have been coming for a while. Like I said, this is the update video for our first week of homeschool. I love making these update videos. I tend to make them monthly as opposed to weekly. I definitely don't make weekly update videos. There's not enough to report back on. I typically do monthly, but I just wanted to kick it off with how our first week went. And so I like to keep these videos rather casual, kind of like I'm just chatting with you guys, like we're having coffee and I'm chatting about how our first week went. That's how I like to organize these. I like to just talk about like general life updates, family subjects, as well as my individual kids' subjects. And so let's just hop in. So general life update, I would say that things are pretty good. They're pretty normal. There is still some uncertainty around my husband's health, which if you've been on this channel for a while, you know that he had a major surgery, and I don't share too many details about specifically what that is, just for his privacy, but there's still some uncertainty about what's going to happen next. Do they need to do more? He's doing well. So that is something to celebrate, but there's just more, and we're just not quite sure what that more is at this point. So we would just appreciate continued prayers. You guys, it really makes a difference, and I really do feel your prayers, and I love when you guys reach out to me to encourage me on that situation. But that is kind of some general life updates. As for like myself, what have I been working on? Oh, I've been working on some more stuff for YouTube. I'm trying to kind of figure out what I want to do on YouTube. I mean, I have this channel, my homeschooling channel, and then I have my booktube channel that I branched off of this channel around like Christmas time. And that's been really fun, but I'm just not sure if I can handle kind of the load of both. And I'm thinking about drawing more of my content into this channel. So if that excites you, let me know down below. That I'll be putting more energy in making more homeschool videos is kind of my current plan, but I'm in the process of working that out. So that's kind of general my life update. But moving to homeschool. So family subjects. So most of you know we are doing a lot of Sunlight this year, and I love Sunlight. I love that it is literature based and taught through books. I did have some anxiety kind of going into this first week, thinking about how we were going to transition from HBLK to HBLB. Like we skipped over A for various reasons I've talked about on this channel before. B is where we need to be, and it's good for my big kids' ages. And so I just wasn't sure, are we going to be reading a ton more? Are they going to be expecting more with the Bible stuff? And so far so good. It's been very similar in the structure, which I just really like, how the history is set up with the timeline figures and all of that. The Bible is a little bit more for sure, but I'm enjoying the book so far. Like it is the Leading Little Ones to God book. It has resulted in some really interesting discussions. What is really funny though is at the end of the readings they have like a little prayer, which I like praying with my kids. I like having them hear how to pray, kind of gives them the words, but these prayers have like thee and thine, and so I just switch them. I just like use the word you instead of thee and stuff like that, and it's not that hard. It just kind of threw me off at first, and I'm like, I'm not going to pray that. They're going to get so distracted by that language that they're not going to be able to kind of hear the message of like how you talk to God sort of idea, which is what I really desire for them. So I love that. I love that the history actually started out with praying for different unreached people groups, which I thought was really cool. And so I get to talk to my kids about the people groups, and then we get to discuss it and then discuss how we should pray for them and things like that, which has just been really neat. So I have really liked that. And we are actually doing the memory work this year. I just decided not to do it last year, but this year we're doing it, and so far it's really good. The kids are really liking it. Even my 4-year-olds are trying to say some of the verses, and it's just really cute how they sub in words that are not in there. And I'm really excited for them to like present their verses to their dad, because the first verse they are memorizing is Psalm 1, the whole thing. So verse 1 through 6. So we're memorizing a verse a week. And so after 6 weeks, they can do the whole thing. So I'm really excited about that. That's kind of new. It's not new. It's new to me. I chose not to do it last year. And so I'm going to try to do it this year. And the other thing, we actually did the science experiment. We did the science experiment on the correct week. Last year, we just were so all over the place. We never paired it to the reading, but it pairs with the reading, and it was so much fun. I loved it. I organized the supplies, actually based on a comment one of you made, to take the supplies out of the box and add the extra supplies and make little baggies for the first 5 to 6 weeks. Genius. And so we did that, which is great. And we also did the artistic pursuits. I loved it. I love that I made that happen. I actually just made a video about my homeschool focuses for the year. And one of those was to kind of follow the things that my kids are most excited about. And those are 2 of those things that I gave as examples. And so I was really proud of my first week actually making that happen. And so the next thing I love to talk about in my update videos is what we're reading. And I forgot to bring it up with me, but I'm just going to pop up some pictures. So we're reading Charlotte's Web. So that is the Sunlight read aloud for this first chunk of weeks. And we're really loving it. I actually read this to them when they were so much younger. I think like 5 and 4. And they liked it at the time, but they did not remember it. So now they are 8 and 7. And it's so much fun because I'm like, do you remember how this ends? Do you remember what happens to Wilbur? Do you remember? And they're like, no, not at all. And I'm like, that's fine. Let's enjoy the story one more time. So I love it. I mean, what's not to love about Charlotte's Web? Just such a wonderful story. So we're reading that, but we're also reading this book. So it's called Tuesdays at the Castle, I think. And it was a Sunlight Summer reader, and it was the one that my daughter was so excited for. So she got her pick first. And so we're going to read this book, which is about this girl who lives in this castle. And the castle is like magical. So it adds different rooms, or it shifts things around, or it adds like full corridors, or takes away sections of the castle like at a whim. And so it's just a really fun like building that is magical. And then what's going on with the story is there's this princess, her name's Celie, and her parents go off to see, I think, her older brother, and she's left with another brother and a sister, and they're kind of running the castle until they find out news that their parents have been killed on their way back. So that's kind of currently where we're at. It's giving me a little bit of vibes of like Frozen, right? Where the parents go off and then they perish at sea, and now the girls are in charge. And so that's kind of where we're at. I'm not sure where it's going to go. On the back, it indicates that people in the like countryside around them are trying to like take over the castle, but Celie knows the castle really well, so she is able to fight back against them. It's really fun so far. Both my son and my daughter are enjoying it. We are like, I'd say like 70 pages in. So we're not too far, but hopefully we will finish by the next time I chat with you about our read alouds. So those are the things we are reading aloud. Let's see. Oh, individual subjects. So my son is now in 3rd grade. He's 8.5, and my daughter is in 2nd. She's 7. For this update, I think I'll just combine them because they're both doing the review work. Basically, they use Saxon for math, and we're still using Abeka for phonics, and it's kind of phonics and language. And we're solidly in those review lessons. So nothing new being taught. Actually, my daughter's getting a little bit annoyed with me. She's like, this is so babyish. And I was like, girl, it's just going to get harder. Why don't we just enjoy the easy? And so, I don't know. I think she just really wants to read, which I love. I love that my kids really want to read. So yeah, we're just kind of in the review sections for that. And I talked about this in my summer homeschool fail video that I just put out, where I was just feeling really guilty about the idea that they were going to have this huge summer slide and like their math facts and phonics and things like that. And what I did not anticipate was how much review was built into the beginning, because we switched to both Saxon and Abeka kind of midway through the year last year. So we didn't have this kind of time to do all the review lessons. We kind of skipped over those to save time and things like that. And so that was just really nice to know now that we have all this review built in, and we start a little bit early, so there's no rushing. And it's kind of funny because I feel like a lot of people have like these slow starts to their homeschool. They're like, we're gonna really on-ramp. And are we doing that? No. Are we doing everything? Yes. And it's mainly because of me. I feel like I want the schedule. I feel like I want to test out the schedule. I want to make sure we can get what we need to get done within the framework of my family and how young the twins are and things like that, that I just really needed to know if my schedule made any sense. And so I just wanted to start everything. But I'm really thankful that these subjects, these main harder subjects, are so much review, because it's kind of like a slow start. Let's be honest. It makes our days shorter, easier, less stressful as we kind of get our feet under us, as we test out the schedule. So I'm kind of liking this, because then I'm not like planning out this slow schedule. I'm just doing the next lesson and it's kind of slow. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but it was kind of this epiphany I had that, like, one, I don't have to worry about the summer stuff, and two, I'm kind of doing a slow start without even meaning to, which I'm really, really happy about. So those are my big kids. As for my preschoolers, okay guys, this is fun. So my 4.5-year-olds are starting homeschool preschool, they like to call it, because I've been taking them to an in-person preschool 2 days a week last year. I'm doing it again this year. But we hadn't done homeschool preschool with them, so my kids are so excited. They're like, we're doing homeschool preschool. They're just like dancing and super excited, and they are so much fun to do all the little games and all the little phonics practice, because I'm doing Abeka K4 with them, as well as Sunlight, both the T program as well as the P program. So it's kind of the preschool 3-4 and the preschool 4-5 programs. So I'm kind of doing all of that with them, and they are loving it. They're having so much fun. And it's fun because they get to work together as to like help each other. They're like, oh no, that's a capital U, brother. And so they'll like help each other so that they can get the Cheerio or the apple or whatever it is that is kind of a part of the game for that day. And I'm loving the fact that Abeka has all the manipulatives, all these little games. I don't have to collect anything. It's just all part of the game packets, which I just did a review of K4 to show all the different resources, and I'm loving it. I really barely have to collect things. It's all right there. And then we also do the Sunlight books, and my kids love it. They love the What Do People Do All Day, Richard Scarry book. That's the one we're at. And it's like all about Busy Town. And so they keep talking about Busy Town. Like we went to the post office and they're like, oh, do you remember Busy Town? And so they went and they both like looked in the little letter drop place, and they're just like, I wonder where these letters are going. Is it like Busy Town? It was so cute. They are just really enjoying being part of the homeschool, and I barely work with them. Like it's very minimal as to how much time they take, but they feel really loved, and then they're able to kind of go on. And my schedule is very unique this year because of them, because of adding them. And so I'll share that in my schedule video, because I want to give it a few more weeks before I tell you about this amazing idea I had for them and to keep our homeschool running a little bit smoother. And I'll share all that with you. I just want to make sure it works. Like I want to give it a good go before I recommend this, because it's such a good idea, you guys. But anyway, that is the update for them, for my twin boys. So yeah, that's our first week. Honestly, it went really well. Like I was telling my husband, I was really tired after the week because I feel like I was anxious that I was going to get everything done in the right time. Did I make the right decision on stuff? And so I was kind of holding that anxiety. But I feel so much lighter after just the first week to see how it goes, and know that like every week's not going to go perfectly smoothly. I mean, it's not like last week went perfect by any means, but I'm encouraged. I'm really encouraged for the rest of the year. I'm encouraged by all the, I'm excited about all the things we're learning. I'm excited that they're excited. So that's my update. I would love to know, have you guys started? When is your start date if you haven't started yet? Let me know down below. Everybody starts at such different times, and I just love that. So I hope you're doing well. I hope either your homeschool's off to a good start or you're just excited to get started. So yeah, if you love update videos, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you would like to. And otherwise, I will see you guys in the next homeschool video. All right, take care.